Damn, he's just going straight for it. Fuck it.
My God. Not looking good. Here's a manual boost controller for the RX-7 with some of the little pieces and vacuum line. Intake air temp sensor and my radiator fill neck and an 18-pound cap. So need to figure out where I want to mount this. I've got an idea. My plan is I'll just put it right up here. Probably like that. I think that'll be fine. It looks like, I think that'll probably be the highest point too, which will be nice. The only thing I'm gonna have to do is shave this and bevel it a bunch to fit around the pipe. The camera died, but we got it all done. Piece of advice for anybody wanting to start a YouTube channel, definitely make sure your camera is not charged at all. It makes for a great video. But got it welded on there. Everything's looking good. Pretty decent welds to me. I mean, not perfect, but pretty good. And then while this was charging, I got the interior all together too. Center console's in, shifters in. That's all good. Still have to hook up the cable down at the transmission, but not gonna worry about that right now. Got the display mounted, just some double-sided tape. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. Then we got a couple more goodies for the car over here. This is the alternator wiring, because I didn't want to just order a resistor. The wiring's cheap enough, I figured I'd just get the whole shit from ICT Billet. And this one, I don't remember what this is. Oh, it's the IAC, idle air control valve. So if you remember, I mentioned in the last video that at AutoZone they wanted 130 bucks, well, 129 bucks for this. So I robbed the one out of Goldie to get this thing started and bought this off eBay for, it was way cheap, I know that. So sweet, glad that showed up. We can get that thrown in Goldie and have a running truck again. But let's get the alternator wired up and then we'll probably wrap the video up. Right there's where the resistor's in. Now there are some one-wire LS alternators out there a lot of people like to run, but these are super easy to find because a lot of people don't want to run them just because the resistor hassle. You only have to run the resistor because from the factory the exciter wire went to a light in the gauges, like an indicator light, and that light had some resistance. So if you don't have that equal resistance, it'll burn up the alternator if you just run straight 12 volt. It's an extra step, but it's really not that bad. I just have to find switch 12 volt that I want to run to this. Okay, so after a little bit of digging, I found two wires that'll work. I don't want to tap into the wires for anything else, so I found these two. These are the stock coil wires, but instead of trying to jump those two together, I think what I want to do, since I need a good source for switched power, is I'm going to run to the parts store and get like a little kind of fuse block, power distribution block, whatever you want to call it. I'll have a jump point for any future switched power, which I wanted to do to begin with anyway, so now's a good opportunity. And I got to run there and get some lug nuts for the front wheels anyway. Might as well just go there, kill 2 birds with 1 trip. So I'm gonna go do that real quick. All right, got it all wired up. Ignore this kind of mess right here. This isn't permanent, so I didn't want to cut the alternator wire. I still want to run it somewhere else and clean it up, and this was just all that I could find. I don't know, it'll work. So just going to check that everything's good, check with the multimeter, make sure that it's getting that resistance, you know. Okay. Oh, let's see, the camera's been dead for a lot of this, so I don't know where I left off. I've just been kind of plucking away on things, but I got the radiator fill neck all welded on. That actually turned out pretty good. Still got to get it clamped in place. I do have the clamps for it, just haven't done that yet. I got the vacuum lines all ran from the correct port down here, drilled and tapped that. I did have it at the back of the intake, but ideally you want it before the throttle body, so drilled and tapped that. I got this one running to the little manual boost controller. I might have to reroute that a little bit. I got the O2, the wideband in the exhaust, because the first time we fired it up, I didn't have that. I meant to put it down in one of the narrowband ports, but totally forgot. Let's take a look at the interior one more time. Here you can see where I got the boost controller just mounted for right now. Everything's looking good. The cover's not on the shifter, but bam. Man, I'm excited. Got the console mounted, that's all good. Got the switches here, which I don't remember. I want to make a need to roll that up so the cat stops getting in here. I'd like to find the factory little panel that goes there, but unless I can find someone parting a car out, I think that'd be pretty expensive, so I might end up just making one out of like sheet metal and then doing the same thing I did with this, get like a textured paint so that it kind of matches everything else. Then I think that I might run, because I got the whole Holley system, the switch power off this switch. I might run it to like that power distribution. I'd like to move that probably inside somewhere, just so that the engine bay is not all cluttered up with wiring and stuff like that. And then I'll run that off of that. And then I do think that I'm going to hook up that tack wire, because one of those 2 yellow wires out there next to it are for the tack. I think it's the yellow and blue one, if I remember correctly. So I think that's probably going to do it for today's video. I think that's about all that we can kind of squeeze out of this one. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I am really excited for the next video. I'll give you a quick little sneak peek. There you go. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. We'll see you next time.